Ben, welcome to the show.
Carl, thanks for having me.
Your work certainly has its own signature.
Yeah.
You know? Ben's work is in the Hasselblad Masters book because you won the urban category, didn't you, last year?
I love exploring new things. It's been a real passion of mine.
The first thing I reminded me of was that film Inception.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
bend the city, and I love that film. It has a very filmic look to the shot.
The interesting thing, it's over on that left-hand side. It's where you've got this horizon just kind of moving to a point that...
Do you have any particular tips that you've picked up over the years for printing? Or?
It's a very, very, very particular process for me now. I think the best thing is to...
You want to ask questions to Ben here, then get Emma to light up that magic light bulb.
I was wondering if your early work was similar at all to your distinctive work now. How do you colour grade your images and what is the best way to approach colour grading? Can you give us an idea of how you manage to build up sales through galleries? Do you use exposure stacking to help with the shadows in architectural shots? Do you use colour theory in your work or do you just edit due to your personal taste?
This series called City Shrinker, which is a great name for it. Really great name because it's so appropriate to it.
Saw that there were these tilt shift lenses available. I didn't have enough money to go out and buy a tilt shift lens and a new system. I had, through a bit more research, started to look at, how could I maybe do this without a tilt shift lens.
They really do look model-esque.
You'll notice that there is a lot of warmth that's being drawn back into it to give that kind of artificial train set-ish
Well, this is it.
lighting.
Even the trees in this shot have that sort of almost like that fake train set.
Over a period of time, I just started to feel quite trapped in that.
How do you make the decision on that shift in the colour? Is that just something that you feel your way to?
I'd take the blue and I'd push it all the way back out into. If you want to get represented by a gallery or if you want to do work in different areas, it's very much about...
But generally, as a revenue generating thing as a photographer, are you relying on gallery sales, print sales for this sort of thing?
The number one thing for me is that it's the one part of the process that will probably take the most amount of time. One of the important things for me was to make these images as flat as possible, and the way to do that was ordinarily you're going to find that there is a heap of noise. There's going to be a heap of artifacts that are in there.
That's where all the noise is in those shadows.
It would turn into a very manual process of... As an example, in this image here, it was quite dark in that corner there. Now, that in the peripheral of your image, of your view, would be quite dark. But if you were to look over there, your eyes would adjust. And
exactly.
It's been an absolute phenomenal experience going through that. Yeah.
Where you want an empty space, do you have to do a lot of waiting for people to disappear? Are you just erasing them, or what's your process?
Yeah, so you can get really carried away on the tech side of things and on your kit, but there are always ways around things.
To touch on these post-production questions,
yeah.
What would be your methodology approach to, say, dealing with that particular image? What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, okay, so we can get into some of the tools now. So
you still shoot with Canon 35mm, so you still have the Canon, still work with those from time to time?
Yeah, still got the Canon.
And those are 5Ds?
Yeah, 5D Mark III. On the lens side of things.
You've treated Formula One in a very different way to how I've ever seen it treated before.
The team had one pit stop for the entire weekend. It was a 2.7 second pit stop. I think I got 2 frames off. The way that I would get the word out there around what I was doing is I would, in my lunch break, I'd go down to, when you're in those high pressure situations where you need to be able to get the shot, it's one of the most valuable skills to have.
Right, I've got one final question for you, probably the most important question of the night. Do you enjoy having a beard?
Well, yes.
What's it like having that beard?
It is good. I've had it for about 6 years now.
Thanks again, Ben, for coming in. I'm Carl Taylor. This is Carl Taylor Education Live. We'll see you next time.